So, welcome to the Life of Ziva. My name is Kaylin, and this is my service dog in training, Ziva. What? What? She knows I'm talking about her. Welcome to the Life of Ziva. My name is Kaylin, and this is my service dog in training, Ziva. Ziva is a Cane Corso, and she's 4 months old right now. And she's massive already. So Ziva is my service dog in training for my narcolepsy with cataplexy. Are you going to play with my hand? No. All right. Come here. Come here. What are you doing? Alright, so Ziva is my service dog in training for my narcolepsy with cataplexy and PTSD. So, this is an unscripted video, so I'm obviously going to mess up a lot, but it's okay. So, I'll go ahead and tell you what narcolepsy with cataplexy is, and I'm pretty sure everyone knows what PTSD is, but I'll go over that a little too. So, narcolepsy with cataplexy is a neurological disorder that causes persistent sleepiness with additional symptoms. One of a common symptom is cataplexy, but not all narcoleptics have cataplexy. There's narcolepsy 1 and narcolepsy 2. Narcolepsy 1 is the one where you have narcolepsy with cataplexy. So cataplexy is a symptom of narcolepsy where you have brief episodes of muscle weakness, basically, and it's paralysis. And so I have hi sweetie, I have pretty severe cataplexy, and it's severe enough with my narcolepsy and the sleep episodes and the cataplectic episodes, that I need a service dog. It's a disability. It's debilitating for me. So Ziva performs tasks for me that mitigate my disability. And I'll go ahead and put a disclaimer out right now. In order to have a service dog, you have to be disabled. So you can't just go and make your pet a service dog I don't know what's wrong, but you have to be disabled, and you have to have, a doctor basically prescribe you the service dog, saying that you need the dog to mitigate the disability that you have, whatever it may be. Also, under federal law, which is in the ADA, which is Americans with Disability Act, it's illegal for businesses and establishments to try requiring, oh my goodness, I got a stutter there, requiring any kind of proof that your service dog is a service dog, because there's no such thing. There's no special schooling, there's no special certificates or registrations. That's why when you see online registrations and everything, it's actually a scam, and it's just something to try getting people to buy into. in which under federal law that's not required because there's no national database for registering a service dog. What makes a service dog is the handler being disabled, the dog being public access trained, meaning they are obedient in the public eye, follow the handler's every command to the T, basically, and are very obedient, and then they have at least one task that they're trained to do to mitigate the disability. Now, task training is not like... I live in a dorm. Shh. I live in a dorm, by the way. Hush. I live in a dorm. Hey. What are you doing? It's okay. It's okay. She's still learning. Hush. Hi. It's okay. It's okay. I know they're going and banging on all the doors. I live in a dorm, by the way, and they're going around saying there's a program going on right now. Well, anyways, back to what I was saying. So what makes a dog task trained? Task training. So, yeah, task. What would be considered a task is, say, Ziva. She actually is naturally alerting, which I can mimic my symptoms for a cataplexy attack and train her to start looking at those symptoms and alerting to me, which she naturally already is alerting without me having to do the training. But her alerting to my oncoming cataplexy attack, that's considered a task trained. Her being taught to do a, cover, that's where she lays down and does deep pressure therapy on me, and it helps with my episode being shorter. Lay down. Thank you. So, that would be task. What would not be considered a task is naturally inclined responses that the dog would have. So, I need to stop yelling. So what would not be considered task would be the naturally inclined behavior a dog already does. So, Ziva is very loving. I love her. Mwah. Yeah, she's very loving. She gives me love and support. But that's not a task. She naturally does that, and it's an inclination that she already does. And that's not something you can train the dog to do. So, a natural behavior doesn't count as that. Yep, I think that pretty much covers it. So that's what makes a service dog, being able to do at least one trained task to mitigate your disability. It has to directly relate to your disability. That is also something I should very much say. It has to directly relate to your disability. So, training her to do deep pressure therapy directly relates to my disability because her applying pressure, it's actually, we've found that applying pressure to the portions of my body that are paralyzed, typically my legs where it happens, causes my episodes to be a little shorter. Also, it can provide a coverage and protection of having a dog lay over you from being stepped on in foot traffic. I typically, when I have an attack, it's in public, and it's in a high walking traffic area. So having the dog lay on top of me, protecting me from foot traffic and being stepped on, that directly relates to my disability. What would not, I guess, a task that you could train that does not directly relate to my disability, or I actually need it sometimes, so... Say a person who's perfectly mobile and has mobility. I temporarily don't with the cataplexy. So, someone who has full mobility, though, they train their dog for task training to go turn the light on and off. Well, and that person could still do it. That's something they can do. So that's not something that they're disabled from. So training a dog to do that, it's not directly related toward their disability. It would need to be something else. For a wheelchair-bound person, they may be hindering to try and turn the light switches on and off. So having the dog go do that directly relates to them. So that would that's also something I probably should state. Ziva actually just fell asleep, guys. Look at this. She fell asleep. She's cute. So having said that, that's what makes the service dog a service dog. Now, in the beginning, I also said that Ziva is my service dog in training. Under the federal law, a person has the option to self-train their dog. I mentioned that there's no special school that you can. I mean, there are special programs that do program dogs, but it's expensive sometimes. It's 2-year wait list. It's long. Sometimes, it's free to you if you apply, but they ask you to fundraise and help fundraise toward the program. So, I mean, there's that. But it's such a lengthy process that it's actually become more common for owner training. And it's where you get your own dog and you make sure it has the right temperament, obviously. And you train the dog for yourself, in which legally every person, if you're a disabled person, has that right to do. So Ziva is, a service dog in training. I'm doing her self-training. I'm actually working with a program where it's a owner training program. So it's partnered with, you go with a trainer, and the professional service dog trainer trains you, the handler, how to train the dog. And sometimes they bring their own dog to demonstrate with. And sometimes, every once in a while, they'll step in with your dog, and if they see you really struggling, like, okay, let me give it a try. But nine times out of 10, you're the one working with your dog. You're training. For me personally, I've had Ziva for 2 months since she was 8 weeks old. I've had her. And we've been doing training myself. The program, typically you're supposed to meet your trainer once a week. And in the 2 months I've had Ziva, I've only met with my trainer twice. Because I just have not had to have the extra training sessions. Ziva and me are working perfect. She's learning all her skills and commands fast, her obedience. I mean, we could do some work in the house, in the dorm. She's still, when she's off duty, her off-duty training. But when she's on duty, she's really good. She's a very good dog, and for a puppy, I mean, I'm happy with her training. And so I need to plan, now that I think about it. I need to plan another session. But so far, I mean, she's learning just about everything I've tried teaching her. And the trainer, you go through a training session, and the trainer will give you homework at the end of the session, and you're supposed to work on that. At least they ask you to work on it at least an hour a day, which can be actually quite a bit for a puppy, to just sit down for an hour straight. So what I do is I do little mini training sessions throughout the day. So it's 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, but it's all day long is what I do. And so that's actually really how she's picked up so fast on everything. It's an all-day training, in my opinion. I look at it as she's with me 24/7 because I am on a college campus. She goes to classes with me. She goes everywhere with me. We go to the dog park. We go to pet-friendly stores, not pet-friendly stores, because the state I'm in Texas, so by Texas law, service dogs in training are protected and have public access rights, which for whatever state you're in, you need to make sure you look up your service dog and training laws, so that way you know if you have public access rights or not. In Texas, you have public access rights for the purpose of training, which basically just means that you can bring your dog into the area for training purposes, so they're getting used to the public eye and being in public, but you need to be ready to leave at any moment's notice if you notice the dog misbehaving. You have to be on top of your game and in control of your dog at 100% of the time, and knowing what they're doing and focused on the dog and not just your own enjoyment. So going to the movie theater, you better be prepared to walk out of the movie if you bring your dog into the movie and it's in training. And it's even with a regular service dog, you need to be prepared to remove the animal from the establishment if they become uncontrollable, which by law is when a business can ask you to leave their premises if the dog is out of control or not potty trained, which is another thing. In the exception of accidents, say the dog was sick and it's a housebroken dog and just a plain accident happens. So vomiting or, relieving themselves within the establishment due to an accident of like illness or something. So with Ziva being in training, she's doing very well, in my opinion. She knows just about all her basic obedience. I have downloaded like the public access test forms. Through the program that I'm working with, they send you a manual explaining everything. And then I've watched a lot of YouTube videos. I watched a lot of YouTube learning about service dogs and following some mentors and everything. And I've seen where they go through and they have a public access tester and they do a whole video so you can actually see how your dog should be acting. And personally, in my opinion, Ziva is doing spectacular. I mean, she needs some polishing here and there on certain things. Her relative heel, every once in a while, she'll kind of pull out of a heel, but she's still within that range where the leash is still very slack. She actually puts no strain on the leash anymore. That also could be due to the fact that I switched her to a head halter. Yeah, head halter collar. So I moved her over to a head collar. And so her leash manners are spectacular. I've actually just started introducing her to tether leashing. And that's where I'm doing hands-free and just tethering her to me. And she's staying within a 2 foot distance of me. The leash is super slack. I also switched her leash over to it's a 2 foot tab leash. So it's already a very short leash, keeping her in a very close proximity of me. She knows her basic commands of sit, down. I'm trying to teach her stand right now because I didn't realize how important it was at first to actually teach the dog to stand. But it comes in handy actually now that I think about it, teaching her to stand, because when I'm trying to get her to put her vest on, I need her to stand up. I could put it over her head while she's sitting, but when I go to buckle it under her ribs, I need her to stand up. So being like, okay, come on, stand. And so I guess that's the way I'm kind of teaching her how to stand, is by when I'm putting her vest on, I'm like, okay, stand up, and I make her belly sit up. So I guess that works. She actually knows her speak command, so she'll speak for me by hand signal or verbal. 9 times out of 10, though, she wants to see the hand signal. I want her learning the hand signal anyways, but that's just for the purpose of if I ever need to just not be speaking, I'm doing something else and I need her to do her little bark or something. Which teaching her to bark or speak is very beneficial in multiple ways. Getting attention, using it to teach her how to alert to me. So personally, for me, I can't just having the dog paw me or something. She naturally already paws me a lot. She puts a lot of pressure on me. She's always touching and within touching distance of me. So having more physical contact really doesn't signal in my brain, oh hey, your dog's trying to alert to you. But barking, because she's a very quiet dog naturally, unless provoked, she's naturally always quiet, and she might whimper here or there if she needs to let me know she needs to go potty, but she never barks. She's never vocal. And so with her vocalizing to me and actually barking, that's an alert to me and letting me know something's up. And so I've been teaching her how to mimic, or when I'm mimicking my symptoms, teaching her to bark when she sees me do the symptom. And so that's how she's doing her alerts. But she knows how to bark or speak on command. She knows how to paw. She does different forms of paw. That's because I'm trying to get her adjusted to targeting, because eventually I would like to teach her how to target on pawing the light switch on or off, pawing and touching the handicap buttons for doors. That way she could go inside the building, go retrieve help if I had a cataplexy attack right outside the doorway, something like that. Just things that help make it easier. She also knows how to do a center. I've been working on her doing a center where she stands or sits and lays between my legs and even walks between my legs. I think there's actually, in the intro to this video, you see, me practicing teaching her that. She's been working on that for 3 days now, really. So doing very good. I think she's doing really good, and I'm pretty excited to get this channel started. Trying to think. It's kind of nerve-wracking to be putting my face out there on social media because I've never really been super social media active, and ever since I got Ziva, it's just like all about her, and I love her so much, and I love educating others on service dogs, and that's really what I'm wanting this channel to be, is an educational tool to help teach people about service dogs, the process of getting a service dog, service dog etiquette. Oh, I could go on about service dog etiquette. Don't get me started today. I won't do it. But, teach service dog etiquette, the different ways to go about getting a service dog program versus owner training, and then also just documenting, like, the training process, so others can see, hey, this is how I helped train her to do this, and it works, and it's easier. It might be easier for other service dog handlers to try this method. And, my goal is to help reach others and help others really for a support system, for one thing, because I know personally, seeing other service dog handlers on YouTube, watching them and seeing it, it's been so inspirational and so encouraging and helping to realize, hey, I'm not alone. There's others who are going through this. It helps bring it to a realization also that, service dogs aren't perfect. They're not robots. They're a living being that has off days, bad moments here and there. You saw Ziva kind of got a little freaked out about the CAs going through knocking on the doors. She's still kind of getting used to knocking on my door. And so trying to make sure, hey, calm down. Don't bark at the door yet. So, service dogs aren't perfect. And so I want this channel to be an educational tool that people can come to for support, for help, for education, for knowledge, and for, learning more about service dogs. And also, I'd really love to I'm not as super private about my disability because my disability is so rare. And it's not in the rare of, like, there's not as many people who have it. It's rare in the case that it's so underdiagnosed that people don't know they have it. And in narcolepsy, it's a sleep disorder. And so, it's one of my goals to really help advocate and teach others about narcolepsy, and to help with the fact that it's so underdiagnosed or misdiagnosed even. And so I hope this channel is informative for everyone who comes and watches it. So, having said that, seems Miss Ziva has gone to sleep, so I think this is going to be our sign-off. Bye. Thank y'all for listening, and hope y'all like and subscribe.
Hi guys, so my name is Kaylin.
Hi guys, welcome to the Life of Ziva. My name is Kaylin, and this is my service dog in training, Ziva.